enjoyed the broadcast. I'm going to send you now to the...
Part of being a manager, you're going to be second-guessed, and in Oakland, I'm sure they're going to be doing that.
Well, you know, he feels like they should have won the ball game last night. They were certainly in control to win this ball game tonight. He's got one of the best closers in the game in Keith Falk, and he pitched 3 innings earlier in this series. He felt like he could come in and get 6 outs for him. Couldn't get it done today. You know, I totally expected Bradford to be in for one of those innings and then to go get Falk in the 9th inning. It didn't happen, and now they're going back to Oakland. You know, how does Oakland feel? I mean, this series should be done.
Yeah.
It should be over. They should have won this series. They should have won last night. They should have won the ball game today. Now they've got to go back and face Pedro Martinez.
Tukes, the pitch selection against David Ortiz. Do you agree with that pitch?
Well, I didn't. You know, Folks got an outstanding changeup, and as Jerry said, we were talking about, you know, how they were going to pitch Ortiz. They had the game plan going, but when you throw somebody 5 fastballs on the inner half of the plate, and then that one in particular, he did not elevate it, I think I would question the pitch selection there, especially since he has such a good changeup.
It's amazing. A lot of times people like to say the baseball gods are against the Boston Red Sox. Jerry, I mean, you look at this series against the Oakland Athletics, how many opportunities the Red Sox keep getting.
It's been unbelievable, you know, and look what Oakland's done in this series. They had the bases loaded early against John Burkett. They only could get 1 run out of it. I mean, things just have not gone their way in this series. They had some great defensive plays. Bill Miller at third base, Millar at first base made a couple of nice plays. So, you know, everything right now favors the Red Sox, obviously, in this series. That's an understatement, but it's just gone their way the last couple of days.
Johnny Damon's throw from center?
Yeah.
Right on line?
Exactly. It's so many things in this game.
Is this the Scott Williamson, Tukes, that the Red Sox thought they were acquiring when they made the trade with Cincinnati?
I see a totally different guy out there on the mound right now. He is just electric. His fastball's got great life. His slider's got great depth and velocity, and he looks more aggressive on the mound. And I don't know about you, Jerry, but to me, he looks totally different.
No, the last 2 nights is the best that I have seen him pitch all season long, and I agree with you. His fastball, the velocity is up some. He's throwing it for strikes, and the breaking ball has been absolutely nasty for him. There's another fastball there for the final pop-up, but his breaking ball right now is as sharp as it's been all season long. It's not rolling the home plate. I mean, it's got a nasty bite to it, and he's really been lights out in his last 2 outings, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised that if the 9th inning comes tomorrow and they need a guy to close out a game, it's going to be Williamson.
Yeah. He's carrying him.
Too, right?
Well, he's carrying himself. I saw him last night walking off the field after his outing, and you can just see how he's carrying himself with so much confidence now compared to early on when he first came, and his kind of body language is so key for a pitcher especially, and he is just carrying himself now like they're not going to hit him.
Any concern with this Red Sox offense? We talk about all the chances Oakland and giving the Boston Red Sox, but the offense, Jerry, here in the postseason continues to be the offense that we didn't see during the regular season.
Yeah, it really does, and a lot of it's because of good pitching. But, you know, today, when Hudson left that ball game in the first inning, we saw Sparks come in. I said, this is not even going to be a close game. I thought for sure the Red Sox would rack up a bunch of runs. Give credit to him. I mean, he only gave him 2 runs on the home run by Johnny Damon. But, no, it's an offense that has not yet exploded. They've had some huge hits, obviously, the last 2 nights with Trot Nixon, again, with Ortiz today. So maybe that's something I can carry into the ball game tomorrow for him. But these have been tight, great baseball games in a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, well, you know, 2 extra inning games,
yeah.
and just the whole maneuvering thing with, you know, with both sides, actually. Do you leave Berkey in to pitch the 6th? Do you take him out? Well, that ended, and then Marcus' decisions to bring Rincon in. Does he start and face the lefty, and do you take him out with Bradford, who was giving the Sox trouble this whole series, never pitched in this game, and he would be a guy I would think that can come in and throw to a couple of hitters. And as Jerry pointed out, they're not going to elevate the ball off of Bradford.
That's what surprised me the most. I mean, here's a guy that if he make contact, is probably going to be on the ground. We saw Nomar get the leadoff double in that inning, of course, off Falk on something upstairs that he was able to get off the wall against Bradford. You know, you're pounding that ball into the ground. So I was a little bit surprised not to see him in this game.
Let's look at some of the numbers as the Red Sox now will take this series back to Oakland. And this is certainly what you want to see this series continue. But the offense, where has it gone? In games 1 and 2, the team hitting .228. Games 3 and 4 here at Fenway Park, .203 and just .216. Nobody expected this, Bob.
No, and the fact that they're 2 and 2 and they're going back with those numbers is incredible. There's a lot of luck involved in that. And I just think it's amazing to me how the flip of this in a series, it usually comes down to pitching and defense. And indeed, as Jerry said, Oakland has pitched very well. But the Red Sox team defense and their bullpen play has kept usually the offense has been picking up the pitching all season long, and now it's the bullpen pitching up an offense that's struggling.
This Oakland team has to be devastated emotionally after what they've witnessed the last couple of days.
I can't imagine that long flight across the country because, you know, they've got history, too, they're thinking about. You know, they've been in this situation before, and they have not moved ahead. And, you know, they have 2 games at Fenway Park. They can blame the umpires for one of them maybe yesterday. This is another one that they had a lead going late into the game with one of the best closers coming in. I can't imagine that long ride for them going back to Oakland.
And they didn't even check out of their hotel because they were anticipating if they win this game, they would hang out here on the East Coast, wait and see what happens in the Yankees series between Minnesota and the Yankees. But they'll be checking out of that hotel and making that long trip across the country. And Jerry, you said something very interesting while we were watching the game. You said, you know what, this day is exactly like it was 25 years ago weather-wise. Yeah. Different ending today.
Absolutely. You know, I was on that field prior to the game, and I looked out at the sky was the same, the breeze was blowing the same way, the same kind of atmosphere. But this time, instead of 1978, the Red Sox come from behind to win it.
Unbelievable. Terrific win for the Red Sox. It's all tied up 2-2. And by the way, did you notice the final score? What was the final score?
5-4.
5-4. What was the final score at 78?
Yeah, I know.
So a lot of similarities, but this is redemption for you, Rem.
Yeah, okay.
It makes up for it.
I don't see a ring here, though.
Yeah, no rings. Let's take a time out here in WB Mason's Extra Innings. We'll come back. We'll have post-game reaction on the field. We'll take you to the podium live. You'll hear from Red Sox manager Grady Little, and you'll hear all the post-game reaction as the Red Sox have tied this series up. It's now a best-of-1.
Hey, taxi! So where's the best place to get a Jack Daniels in this town?
No problem. Here you go, guys.
Nice bar.
Try a delicious breakfast sandwich on a freshly baked bagel from Dunkin' Donuts. It's just the thing you've been waiting for. Stop by today for any one of our delicious breakfast sandwiches, including the new sourdough bagel sandwich for just $1.99. Just the thing.
Furniture ads show you a table and 6 chairs for a low price. But then you read the fine print. In actuality, it's only 4 chairs. Who wants a dining room with only 4 chairs? It's an illusion. Then they nail you for the extras. Here at Bob's, it's a whole lot different. Not only do you get a table and 4 chairs, and what a table and 4 chairs, Bob's gives you 2 extra armchairs and 2 extra side chairs. No fine print here, no illusions. Furniture shopping will never be the same.
Kicking a game-winning field goal can be stressful. Driving shouldn't be.
That's why there's Ford Focus. With the 5-year, 100,000-mile extended service plan, your drives will always be worry-free.
Car and driver named Focus in the 10 best 4 years in a row.
Now get $3,000 cash back or 0% financing for 72 months on Ford Focus.
Ford, the best-selling brand of cars and trucks in New England.
Get $3,000 cash back or 0% financing for 72 months on Ford Focus.
Only at the New England Ford dealer.
Today's show is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
All right, this afternoon, the Red Sox pinning their hopes on the veteran righty, John Burkett on the hill in some early trouble in the second inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Scott Hatterberg, Jose Guillen, Adam Melhuse, all on base. And Jermaine Dye is the hitter, and this one will drop in for a hit. Scott Hatterberg scores, and it's 1-0 Oakland. But from there, Tukes, Burkett gets out of it.
Well, he did. You know, he's got experience. One thing about an experienced pitcher in that situation, the game does not speed up on him. He continued to make good pitches and get out of it.
Incredible job getting out of that jam. Tim Hudson, meanwhile, would leave the ball game after the first inning with a strained left oblique. You'd think the Red Sox would then feast on Steve Sparks. Johnny Damon does, Rem.
Yeah, he gets that knuckleball, puts it into the Red Sox bullpen, and of course, when Sparks came into the game, I think all Red Sox fans had a lift, including the Red Sox team itself. You know, you got one of the best pitchers in the game out of there, and all of a sudden, you have a chance to do some damage. He didn't do a lot of damage against him, though.
Trouble in the 6th. This one just over Trot Nixon's jump Adam Melhuse will score Scott Hatterberg. It's 2-2. Next batter up, Burkett's still pitching.
Well, Johnny did a great job for 5 innings. I'd have had somebody else pitch the 6th, and a little bit too late there. He gives up the home run, but the Sox are resilient.
They certainly are. Sox down by 2, not anymore. They're down by 1 against the lefty. Walker does it again.
Second time that he's got Rincon, of course, in this series. The first time was on a breaking ball. That looked to be a fastball from the middle in, and that is a mistake, I think, from a left-handed pitcher to throw that fastball middle in to a left-handed hitter. You got to stay away from him.
First and third, 2 outs in the 8th inning, and it's David Ortiz.
There it is again, that fastball on the inner half of the plate. He had pitched him up, and Ortiz was not swinging at that pitch. He went down in the zone, and Mr. Ortiz got him out to right field.
Nice time for your first hit of the series, Jerry.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, the pressure's building on a lot of those guys because the middle of the lineup was not hitting. But, you know, Ortiz has been clutch all season long. You knew sooner or later that it was going to happen for him. And right there, it did happen big time.
What about Hudson coming out of the ball game so early? I mean, that had to be a demoralizing aspect for the Athletics, although it didn't really hurt them pitching-wise.
No, it didn't hurt him pitching-wise, but yet when you have the #1 guy going out, they're planning on wrapping up this series today with their best pitcher on the mound. And we saw him in the first inning. He looked very, very good in the first inning. Dropped down with a couple of pitches side-on. Maybe that's because of the hit problem. But, you know, when he leaves the game, and even if Oakland is to go on in these playoffs, if they were to beat the Red Sox tomorrow, you don't have Hudson, you don't have Mulder. They're in tough shape.
They're not hitting. Chavez isn't hitting.
No.
Tejada's not hitting. And a lot of pressure on Mr. Zito flying back west.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zito, if he pitches a game like he did last time, that's going to be one heck of a matchup between he and Pedro. His curveball was outstanding. Can he back it up with another game like that? Yeah, I think he can. He's that good of a pitcher, but should be some pitching matchup tomorrow night.
Jerry, does the fact that the Red Sox saw him just a couple of days ago factor in, give them a little bit of an advantage, or if he has the stuff that he had last time, is it deja vu?
I think when great pitchers have great stuff, it doesn't matter. You know, they're going to be great.
And that's about as good as he can pitch, so
yeah.
That's the one thing the Red Sox can kind of hang their hat on. Johnny Damon, one of the big hits in the ballgame. Let's go downstairs to the clubhouse.
Offense was shut down for so long, and how do you guys come back in a game like this?
Well, it's real tough when you shut down their offense, but you have to give their pitching staff credit. They're the best in the league, and we're going to be going up against a very tough pitcher tomorrow. But we do have confidence, and we feel like we can get the job done.
How gratifying is it to see David Ortiz do that 0 for 16 in the series before that hit?
Well, you know what? It's good as bat's waking up now because he's going to come up big for us tomorrow. He's got that confidence back. You know, he was hanging his head a little bit, but I think after he battled against Falk right there, that's what we needed him for. I mean, what an awesome performance. So what? 1 for 17, but came up with the biggest hit of them all.
How about this crowd?
Tell us what it's like to play here at home with all these fans who have not left. None of them are leaving here.
This is what playoff baseball is about. Being here at Fenway, best fans in the world, and we know they're going to be with us in spirit tomorrow, and we're going to have a lot of fans out there in Oakland. So we can't wait to get on the flight and relax a little bit.
Pedro against Zito. Well, what do you think?
I like Pedro. I like our guy. And Zito's coming back on 4 days rest. And hopefully Petey's ready to go, and we think he's going to be.
Johnny, tell us about your home run real quick.
Well, I took my hands in very well, and the ball shot out there. Good thing the wind was blowing out a little bit. I was just trying to hit a pop fly to the outfield, but things worked out for me.
Feel like it picked me up to the team? I mean, it was tough going, and that seemed to open it up a bit.
Yeah, I think so. And then we ran into a little bit of trouble at the top half of the 6th, but you know, Wake came in, did a great job, and then you know, Williamson came in and slammed the door.
Well, Johnny Damon handicapping Game 5, saying, you know, he likes our guy. Our guy is Pedro Martinez. Barry Zito pitching on 3 days rest. What does that do to a pitcher?
Well, I don't think it's a big thing for a guy like Zito because he's not a max effort power type of guy. He can get a lot of strikeouts, but he gets a lot of those with his curveball. But what you do is you just emphasize on keeping the ball down in the zone. He's got the big curveball. You might use your changeup a little more. I think he's going to be fine. I think it's going to be a good game. Pedro coming back on 130 pitches thrown. He has full rest. I think it'll be the same thing for him. Keep the ball down. Try to limit your pitch counts to, you know, no more than 15 in an inning. You don't want those to pile up on you.
Disappointing actions at Fenway Park for the Oakland Athletics. Ken Maka at the podium.
When you get behind guys, you know, they hurt you. So Walker, we got behind him again, 3-1 pitch, hits a home run off a Rincon, you know. So he saw a lot of pitches, and he finally got one of them.
Who else? Okay, here.
Coach, in this particular situation, does it call for you to, are you going to have any words for your team, or are you going to approach it just just to let them do their thing and prepare for this important game.
Are you going to have any special words for the team, or just let them do their thing and prepare?
Well, we're very aware of what's in front of us. I mean, Pedro is a great pitcher, and, you know, two Cy Young guys going out there pitch against each other. As I answered the first question, you know, these guys came out prepared today. They played hard. They grounded out. Did what we could to win, you know. You know, they made a lot of pretty good plays in the field. We had a hit and run going, and line drive to Millar, and, you know, Chavez hits the ball out there in the big hole out there in center field, bouncing in the stands, probably been a triple. But that's baseball. Those kind of things happen. You know, could have had an extra run here or there, but that's the way it is. So, you know, these guys, they'll be prepared to play tomorrow.
Back there.
Coach, 8 times your team has faced a team with a chance to eliminate from the playoffs and haven't been able to do so. Are you concerned of how that's going to play on your team's mind, or is there just something that's not quite sinking in with this team that they're not able to put that final nail in the coffin?
Well, tough to say. You know, that's tough to say. You know, to me, we got right where we wanted to go today, get to our closer, and got some pretty good guys there. To me, the save was going to be in that 8th inning because you got the middle of the order coming up, and got 2 of the outs anyhow. So, got to just try to get over the hump tomorrow. You know, I think the guys. It's going to be a battle, just like all these games have been a battle.
Last one here.
Yeah, Ken, the Sox bullpen, of course, has been considered to be a bit of a Achilles heel this season, but they gave a strong performance last night and then again today with Williamson. Can you talk about Williamson getting the job done?
Would you talk about Williamson getting the job done after the Sox bullpen has been sort of considered an Achilles heel for them all year?
Well, they got some good arms out there. Timlin came in. He's got great velocity. One particular point in time, he was a closer, and you know, Williamson was the same kind of guy down in over in Cincinnati. These guys have been in the situations to do it, and you know, appears to me they're throwing good. They got good velocity going and making pitches.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
Okay.
Just struck me too, watching that. You made the comparison to 78, almost the same spot that,
Yeah,
that Craig
right.
Nettles got the ball.
That's right.
Jerry, I want to ask you about Ken Maka. He was asked a question after this type of devastating loss. I mean, back-to-back devastating losses for the Athletics. Will he say anything to his team? Will he ask them to treat it any other way? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. You know, this is not football where they play one game a week. I mean, these guys go through this all season long. Obviously, they all know the importance of tomorrow. They know they're facing, each team knows they're facing one of the top pitchers in the game, both Cy Young Award winners. What are you going to say? I mean, you go in and say, look, let's go relax, have some fun, try to win the ball game. It's not one of those things where you close the door, you start screaming and yelling, you start making speeches this time. It's too late for all that. Just go out, play the game, play the best you can, try to win it.
All right, I want to get your take on what you expect from Pedro Martinez tomorrow. He threw a lot of pitches in his last time out. Grady Little right now at the podium.
Comment on David Ortiz timing to come out of that slump?
Just to comment on David Ortiz's timing to come out of that slump.
I can't think of any better time to do that than what he just did. But he's been in slumps before this year, and he's come out with some big hits at the right time for the Boston Red Sox, and that's what makes him so special.
Yes, back there.
Grady, can you talk about your decision to stick with Scott Williamson in the 9th inning and why you didn't have BK Kim warming up at that time?
Would you talk about your decision to stick with Scott Williamson in the 9th inning and why you didn't have Kim warming up at that time?
Last night, when BK got up to warm up, he had some stiffness in his shoulder, and today it continued on, so that's the reason.
Who else? Michael.
Just following up on that, talk a little bit about Williamson getting the job done out there.
Just talk a little bit about Williamson getting the job done.
Scotty was outstanding, as he has been in his last 4 or 5 outings, and he joined our ball club at the trade deadline. He had his struggles, but he got comfortable, got familiar with the setting here, and he's been outstanding for us, and he's surely capable of that.
Karen.
Grady, do you think Manny and David had been pressing, or is it more a matter of, good pitching against them? Or
Would you talk about whether you think Manny and David were pressing, or did you think it was just good pitching against them?
Personally, I think it's the good pitching. The other ball club had a good plan coming into this series. I'm sure they said the same things in their meetings as we did in ours. They had a couple of guys on our ball club they didn't want to beat them, and they've done a good job of that not taking place until this evening.
That said, what was it like to finally watch them deliver in the clutch?
Well, I couldn't think of a better time for that to happen because the clock was running out on the Sox there, and that was a good time for them to bust loose.
Couple more, because Johnny Damon's waiting here. Yes. Over here.
Friday during the workout, you said this team has won 3 in a row a number of times. Obviously, he gets to do it again. You must feel pretty confident about that.
The other day during workout, you said the team has won 3 in a row other times. You must feel pretty confident having made that statement in this position now.
I tell you what, you can check with my wife. I make a lot of statements. And some of them I feel good about later on, and some of them I don't. But it's good to see this ball club. They deserve everything they get. This ball club, the fans of Boston, they just keep grinding all the way to the last out. And we've had some players come through for us this year day after day, and they just continue to do that. And we feel like we have a chance. As long as we've got a uniform on and they've got a schedule for us telling us that there's another game, we feel like we have a chance.
One more?
Can you talk about tomorrow's matchup, Pedro and Zito?
Talk about Pedro and Zito, tomorrow's matchup.
Should be a good game. We like the guy we got on the mound. And like I said before the game, we had one team in one clubhouse who was kind of dreading a trip back across the country. And the people in our clubhouse were looking forward to it. So here we go.
Okay, let's let Johnny get up here. Thank you.
Well, Pedro Martinez has a history in a decisive game. Game 5, 1999, Jerry.
Yeah, you know, this is the guy that every time he takes the mound, I think we're going to win this ball game. I think the Red Sox have a great chance to win. 130 pitches last time out. He's got his complement of 4 days rest. Adrenaline tomorrow in Game 7. I don't see any problem at all for Pedro Martinez. As a matter of fact, they may have to calm him down a little bit before the game.
The kind of game that Pedro Martinez loves to pitch in.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's take a quick break here on WB Mason's X Earnings. We'll come back, more reaction from Fenway Park. We'll have Bob Tewksbury and Jerry Remy look ahead to this decisive Game 5. Talk about the start time for tomorrow, too, because that's still up in the air. 5-4, the Red Sox sending it back to Oakland.
You bring me Masaka or it's your badge! Come on, Buddy Lee. Let's make like a tree and go. Look out, Buddy Lee!
I got to get me some of those jeans.
With your first love comes a first breakup. And with that first breakup comes an older brother.
You'll be okay.
Who knows just the right thing to say.
Come on, let's go to Friendly's.
Right now, try Friendly's Chicken Fajita Salad, our new steak fajita entree salad, or any of our delicious fajitas, and get a hot fudge sundae free.
Here you go. You and me and Friendly's.
Your home is one of your biggest investments, and if you're wanting to add some extra living space with a touch of style and elegance, there is no better way than with an American sunroom. Today, more and more people are investing in their homes to make it a more comfortable place to get away and relax. With an American sunroom, you can enjoy all nature has to offer, and there is no better way to make your home more enjoyable than adding a sunroom or patio cover, custom designed to fit your needs. And your American sunroom can be worth as much when you sell your home as you invested in it. This exciting and luxurious room is often referred to as a green room because it adds a new dimension to both your home and your lifestyle. What a great place to relax or entertain. If you call now, you'll take advantage of the best pricing all season. We offer easy financing with low monthly payments. And be sure to ask about your free video and planning guide. Call now. Operators are waiting to take your call. Start enjoying your American sunroom today.
Sox Box. Pitching has been the name of this series so far on both sides. Oakland's offense has not done very much. The Red Sox offense has not done very much. Johnny Damon's only hit, though, Rem, was that home run.
Yeah, and again, you know, Johnny Damon at the top of the lineup as he goes. Sometimes this whole rest of the lineup goes, and today he got that big home run early in the ball game off Sparks to give the Red Sox at that time a couple of runs. But, you know, anytime you play in a series against a team that has the #1 pitching in the league, and that's certainly the case of the Oakland Athletics, you're not going to have big numbers. I thought the numbers would be better than what they are now, but I didn't expect them to be scoring 10 to 12 runs a game like they have a lot of times this year.
Tukes, Nomar's only hit was a big one because it started that game-winning rally.
Oh, it was, and off the wall, and Nomar certainly hustling for a double. He's not had a bad series as far as hits goes, and you look at Walker, you know, Walker twice off a lefty. All year long was what do Walker and Nixon do against left-handed pitches? Well, so far Walker's done pretty well, actually.
And Jerry, Manny, a couple of hits. Sometimes we've seen that he can be a streaky hitter. I mean, maybe an opportunity to get a couple of hits to get on track for Game 5.
Well, he had that hit in the 8th inning, obviously, to keep that thing going, give Ortiz a chance to get up to the plate. And, you know, Manny's the type of guy, as we all know, that in one game he can turn it all around and have a monster game and really carry the offense. And the Red Sox would certainly hope that that would happen tomorrow night against Barry Zito.
Pitching for the Red Sox, John Burkett got the start, and Tukes, as Burkett went out for the 6th inning, you were kind of boisterous about the fact that you did not want him to go out for the 6th, and that proved to be correct.
Well, I thought that he did a good job for 5 innings. He kind of walked the tightrope, certainly getting out of the 2nd inning. He had 2 runners on in the 4th, and I just felt like going into this game, for me, if you get 5 good innings out of John Burkett, that would be good. The Sox had a 2-1 lead at the time. Even though he did start the 6th, the 3rd hit, they had 3 line drives in a row. One of them, Billy Miller made an unbelievable play on down the line. To me, it was time, and then that pitch to die. You know, certainly the offense picked them up in the pitching of the bullpen. But at that time, I thought that was a huge mistake.
Back-to-back breaking balls to Jermaine Dye. He made him look bad on one that he almost bounced, and then just kind of left one up in the zone. And, of course, Jermaine Dye was not had a lot of playing time this year. Got a cookie right there, and he took care of business. But, yeah, we were kind of anxious to see, you know, how long he was going to go with him. And after those 3 bullets to start off the inning, we thought maybe he'd be out of there.
Well, John Burkett did give the Red Sox 5 strong innings, ran into trouble in the 6th. He's downstairs right now.
John, can you sort of tell us the range of emotion, I mean, from leaving the mound down by a couple to watching what happens after that?
Well, you know, it was tough. I go up the home run to Dye, you know, on a hanging breaking ball. My curveball was pretty good all day long, and I wanted to make sure, you know, he beat me on that pitch. And I wanted to throw it low and maybe get him to roll it over, but I got it up in the zone. It kind of flipped out of the top of my hand. That's where the hangers come from. And, you know, he hit the home run, and it was, you know, definitely a down, you know, for us. And but I know our team never stops. You know, Walker came back and hit a home run right away, get us within 1. And every hitter after that, you know, you have the tying run at the plate. So, you know, our guys were able to keep battling, and you know, David Ortiz picked perfect time to, you know, do what he did again.
How about that? I mean, over the series, and yet, you know, he goes up there, he works the count to full, and ends up hitting a big hit.
Well, Grady and I, when Manny came up, we thought that they might pitch around him, you know, because they had the conference at the mound. And I was thinking they wouldn't give Manny anything to hit. He was able to get the base hit after full. Sometimes as a pitcher, when you pitch around somebody, you try to paint. If you can get ahead by panting and being real fine, you know, then you try to get the out. And I think that's what he did, and Manny was able to get a base hit. And Grady and I were like, you know, well, he's due. You know, Grady, first of all, said he's due. You know, Ortiz is due, so I'd like to see him come up.
What'd you see him?
And, you know, he did it, so.
What'd you see him?
Well, rough 6th inning, no question, Jerry, but I think the Red Sox have to be pleased with the 5 innings they got out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and the key to there, I think, was the 2nd inning when they had the bases loaded and only got the 1 run. That was the key, because very early in the game, the Athletics could have really opened up to a big lead, which would have made it very difficult for the Red Sox throughout the remainder of the way. But to get out of that mess right there, the bases loaded, only 1 run, I mean, that was critical at that stage of the game.
This lineup for Oakland is not good. I mean, it's not a good offensive team.
No, it is not, and it has been exceptionally bad here in this series. And, you know, credit the Red Sox pitchers for some of that, but some of the at-bats they had, we mentioned last night against Derek Lowe, left-handers trying to pull the sinker ball, you know, over and over again, ground ball to first base. And even today, you know, it's almost like both teams at sometimes are feeling the pressure that, you know, we got to break out and score runs, and every one of them is trying to do something maybe they're not capable of doing. And it's been pretty noticeable, obviously, with the Oakland Athletics. They've had a number of chances in the last couple of games to really open up the ball game, but have not been able to get the big hit. Pop up right there, obviously, off John Burkett, Millar making the play. Just one time after another, getting chances to put, you know, maybe 4 or 5 runs on the board in an inning. They just have not been able to get that done.
No, I agree, Jerry. And you know, Tejada has especially struggled. It wasn't until his third at-bat today that he finally decided to take the ball the other way. He had a line drive to Miller at first, or Millar, excuse me. And Durazo, who's been, to me, the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, really was bad today. He had a single his first time up, but he was tough.
Well, you look at this lineup, if you keep Durazo down, and you can keep Chavez down the way they have, and you can keep Tejada down, I mean, you know, you got a pretty good chance of winning that ball game.
Yeah, as a pitcher, you identify those three guys. Two of them aren't hitting. And the lower part of the lineup is actually giving the Red Sox more trouble than the higher guys, except for Durazo.
I know guys lose track of the count at times. You're in the playoffs, and Miguel Tejada's up with a 2-2 count. It's ball 3, and he's walking to first base. And if I'm the Oakland Athletics, I'm a little concerned with that, because don't you do situational hitting? If it's a certain count, you're looking for a certain pitch.
Well, I'm a little concerned about that, too, especially the way things have gone for them for the last couple of nights. I mean, where's your head? You know, you win this ball game, and, you know, they've got a lot of things going against them. They've got the history, as I mentioned earlier. They've got 2 ball games here at Fenway Park that they could have put the Red Sox away. They could be moving on now to the championship round, and it's not happening yet, and it may never happen for them.
David Ortiz, only 1 hit. It was a big one. He's at the podium right now with Scott Williamson.
I just, in the situation, you know, I face him at Oakland. When we were there, then he was throwing me high fastball. You know, good fastball, but like chest high, you know, and I was chasing it. And yesterday in the game, Lily was, they just keep throwing me the fastball out there, and I was chasing it for some reason. So today I just, guess I had better at bat. I was trying to stay away from the pitch out there, because that pitch over 90 miles an hour is tough to hit, you know. So he started me up like that, and I know he got a good change, so I just tried to look in for my pitch by my hip level.
Howard in the back.
Question for Scott. Scott, this is taking a fair amount of abuse. You've had your share as well. How gratifying is it for you right now to have been the difference in the series?
Scott, how gratifying is it for you right now to be the difference in the series, considering the bullpen's taken some abuse all year long?
I think that all of us understood what we were getting into, and I said earlier before the series I was probably going to rely on the bullpen, and all of us guys got together, and, you know, we did our little things to keep us at ease, and I think that we've all done really well at it. You know, Mike Timlin did an unbelievable job last night with 3 innings, and, you know, it's really hard to do in baseball. You know, and he kept us right there, and D'Lo threw a great game, and, you know, I think all the bullpen is really confident right now that, hey, if it comes on our shoulders, we're ready to take that task.
Mel?
David, given your struggles, how difficult was it to stay positive and wait for that hit?
Given your struggles, how difficult was it to stay positive and wait for that hit to come?
I don't think I'm struggling. I'm just not hitting the ball what I wanted. You know, everybody in this room know that we're facing the best pitching in the American League, and they're making good pitches, so we're trying. I mean, it's not that I'm taking pitches right down there, you know. They're just making good pitches, and we just got to keep battling, you know. If I would have been struggling, I don't think I would hit the ball to win the game, you know, at the end, so don't give up on me, people. Come on.
Buster. Scott, why do you think you've improved in the playoffs?
I think there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, I got my family issues and personal life behind me now, and we got all that situated with my wife, you know, was being sick, and my baby got sick really bad, and so, you know, it's really tough to go out there and play a game of baseball when you're worrying about your family. And I had a really good talk with Tony and Theo, and they really got the confidence back in me that, hey, they haven't lost the confidence in me to go out there and do what I can do, and they got me over here for a reason. So, you know, when I left that office with Theo, I really felt really confident and just went out there and just went back to my old ways of throwing.
Here.
David, is your knee giving you troubles at the plate at all?
David, is your knee giving you troubles at the plate at all?
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit sore. The first game we played, I went around the bag. I hit a ball to center field. I went around the bag, and I slipped on the bag. So, and the doctor told me I have like a little bit of tendonitis or something like that. It's nothing bad, but when you put pressure on it, hurt a little bit. So I've been getting treatment every day, and I've been feeling good.
All right, Scott Williamson, I think, is one of the big stories, Jerry. I mean, he really looks like that pitcher they thought they were getting. Well, you know, interesting comment he made, too. A guy that's struggling, that has been down, has had some problems off the field, some personal problems health-wise with his family. And what he said is that he was called into the office with Theo, Tony, and they, you know, they try to, instead of knocking him down, they're building him up. And they're telling him, you know, remember, we got you for a reason. You were a good pitcher in the National League. You were a closer. We haven't seen that. We haven't given up on you. That's a heck of a message to send to the guy. And, you know, when you leave an office like that, when your general manager speaks with you, or your pitching coach, or your manager, you feel uplifted right away. You know, they haven't quit on me.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. You come out of there feeling like at least they still believe in you. And it just takes a ton of worry and fret off your back, and he certainly has gone out and pitched like a guy that they were scouted and traded for in July. And he has nasty stuff. I mean, when he's on, he looks like a closer, and that's what the Red Sox certainly need. All right, we'll take another quick time out here on this special presentation of WB Mason's Extra Innings. Come back, we'll have more post-game reaction, and yes, we will tell you about the starting times for that decisive Game 5 tomorrow in Oakland.
It was the crime of the century. Babe Ruth sold to the New York Yankees.
And I meant to find out why.
From WB Mason's low-price assurance detectives.
The name's Mason, WB Mason. We were searching for clues to explain why the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth when I spotted a familiar suspect.
Hello, boys.
Ever seen this before?
My office supply bill, so?
So, that's high. So high, the Red Sox sold something big to pay it.
Something big?
If only the Red Sox had saved money on my office supplies. Who knows what might have been?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? Who knew?
Who but WB Mason?
Get a jump on the snow season.
Subaru, driven by what's inside. And inside Quirk Subaru, the best price, the best selection, and the best service.
Don't buy elsewhere and make a $1,000 mistake. Quirk Subaru will beat any advertised price, period. Driven by low interest, how about financing as low as 0%? Selection, over 200 Subarus in the park. Outbacks, Foresters, Legacies, Imprezas, the biggest selection in Maine. And a service department driven by the Quirk reputation.
Don't make that $1,000 mistake. Quirk Subaru will beat any advertised price, period.
Crest Night Effects Whitening presents the CMT Most Wanted Live Tour, featuring Rascal Flatts live and out loud with Chris Cagle and Brian McComas, and sponsored by Comfort Inn. And CMT is the ticket for you and your friends to be part of the show. Enter to win VIP seats on stage with Rascal Flatts. It's going to be flat out rockin'.
Friday, October 24th at Bangor Auditorium.
Bangor Motorsports has your chance to win 2 tickets and backstage passes to meet Rascal Flatts. Sign up at Bangor Motorsports, Outer Heyman Street in Bangor.
You ever seen a team with such a flair for the dramatic?
No, have you?
No.
It's unbelievable. I think I said before the postseason began that anything can happen, anything. And now we have Pedro going with Game 5. We got to feel very good about that. He's got a score to settle with last year's Cy Young winner. So.
John Henry's enjoying this. It's kind of ironic. He used to own the Florida Marlins, and they're having a Cinderella-type season. This has been, I think this is terrific for baseball, Jerry. You consider what's going on in the National League, this great series. I mean, this country must be enjoying this. Yeah, they've all been very good series, you know, and they've all been very low-scoring series, too. There are not many blowouts in this postseason, so you have so many teams involved throughout the last couple of months of the season, which is great for the fans, and then to have this kind of a divisional series, I think it's been great, both in the National League and the American League. Interesting comment by John Henry. You know, it's true. Pedro doesn't forget. He thought he should have been the Cy Young Award winner next year. He's got a head-on-head matchup with Mr. Cy Young. Yeah, that's an awesome point, too.
It's just that incentive. You mentioned it all year long. Pedro tries to find a way or does things to create an edge or an attitude that gives him a reason to perform, and that doesn't take much. Game 5, playoffs, Mr. Zito. He doesn't forget. That's an excellent point from John Henry. Real quick, I want to tell you, the Yankees right now are tied with the Twins. It's scoreless in the 4th inning. Here's the deal. If the Yankees win tonight,
Tomorrow's game for the Red Sox and the Athletics will be played at 8 o'clock our time. If the Yankees should lose, that means they would have a decisive Game 5 as well. That means the Red Sox would play 4 o'clock our time, and the Yankees would play in prime time tomorrow. So again, we have to wait for the Yankees to figure out what the Red Sox do. Any preference on game time? I know there is a shadow issue.
Well, you know, I think players themselves would probably like to start the night game because, you know, you're going to have a long trip back to the West Coast today. It's going to be about a 6-hour flight back there. They'll get it at a reasonable time, West Coast time, probably I'd say about 9:30, maybe to the hotel about 10 o'clock, depending how long this after game stuff goes. That's not unreasonable to get up and play a day game the next day. But I also think to get in late like that and then maybe, you know, have a little extra time for the night game. And they want to be on prime time. They want to play that night game in front of the whole world.
How about the shadows, though, Jerry? You've played in Oakland during those times.
Yeah, well,
they say that those are nasty. I mean, with Pedro and Zito pitching, that could just add to it.
Anytime at 5 o'clock start is tough on hitters. There's no question about that. You don't know what the weather's going to be out there in Oakland. Last time they were out there, they had a lot of clouds. It was kind of a cloudy atmosphere out there. You know, hey, who cares? We're going to Game 5, whether it starts at 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter.
They don't care, yeah.
Well, we wouldn't mind a 10 o'clock start again,
They don't care. They're, you know, Grady said it. One team's looking forward to flying back to the West Coast, and one team's not. I'd like to be a mouse on both of those planes. I bet there'll be a big difference in the way that they go about. It's going to be quiet. I think it's going to be quiet on one and exuberant on another.
Well, we get to Game 5, but not the way really you anticipated. It's been pitching and defense, guys, and the defense for the Red Sox today in particular was outstanding, Jerry.
It was. Bill Miller was outstanding at third base. I mean, they made a number of great plays in this game today. First of all, Johnny Damon throwing the man out Guillen at third base. I think quite a ways to his right to make that play and throws a strike in there to get Guillen. I think Guillen was the most surprised guy in the league that Johnny Damon threw him out. And then a breaking ball, a little soft line drive that Todd Walker was able to dive, pick it right off the grass. And, of course, right here, Kevin Millar at first base. He's been very busy in this series, especially last night with Derek Lowe and again this afternoon. And, of course, Bill Miller down at third base again. The reaction position, one quick step to dive and takes the base hit away. And that came at a key time in the ballgame because it looked like the A's were starting to build an inning.
This is like your old teammate Butch Hobson going after a foul ball.
Yeah, Miller going right down to the stands, and the umpire right on top of him to make sure he makes the play, makes the out call. Terrific play again. So, yeah, you know, a couple of the things that have been a problem for the Red Sox at times this season, certainly the bullpen and certainly defense, both have been outstanding in this series for the most part.
As we go to tomorrow's game, too, Tukes, you imagine everybody's available on both sides as far as pitching is concerned.
No, they are. Now, Jerry and I were actually talking about that during the break. Bradford's totally rested. He didn't pitch at all. I think they might be a little tentative in putting Mr. Rincon in a situation to face certainly Todd Walker again. Folk's going to come back again. He certainly is available, but you know, he pitched 3 innings in the game, came back in game 2, has had the day off, but he gave it up today. And you wonder what his psyche is going back home and thinking, oh, God, the pressure is on these guys now. Not only from this series, but from the past series where they've failed as well. A lot of these guys were on those clubs.
The last team to blow a 2-0 lead was indeed this Oakland Athletics ball club. So, I mean, they know that.
Red Sox don't believe they can lose. Oakland believes they can lose because they've done it in the past.
Let's go down to the locker room. Nomar Garcia-Parr.
Berkey did a phenomenal job. All our pitchers did a job. I mean, Wakefield is, I mean, his versatility just never ceases to amaze me. He's always been unbelievable year after year and doing what's asked of him, and he did another great job. And then you saw Williamson come in and do a great job. So, you know what? I mean, like I said, the wins we get, everything we get, it's everybody. It's not 1 or 2 individuals. It's everybody. And, you know, that's the way we got to continue doing it.
No matter where this season's gone, you expect nothing less the way these 2 games ended.
You know, that's the way it's pretty, you know, it's been like that all year long, you know, and it's, you know, I think what says a lot about this team, we've done it all year long where, you know, we haven't given up, you know, to the last out. You know, we're playing strong through 9, and because you never know what happens, and it's showed these last 2 games, and hopefully it can do the same thing tomorrow.
And do you like this 5th game scenario, do or die? I mean, do you like being in a situation like that?
I mean, after down 2-0, yeah, you're glad you're in the 5th game. I'll tell you that right now.
Williamson came up pretty big, too.
Yeah, Williamson did a phenomenal job. Like I said, everybody did. I mean, that's everybody going out there in the playoffs. It's every single person that goes out there, and when you get a victory, you know, everybody comes in and giving high five because it's a full team effort.
All right, some facts from the division series. We talked about teams coming back from a 2-0 deficit. Only 7 teams have recovered to win after trailing 2-1, including the Yankees over Oakland in 2001. That was 2-0, and Minnesota over Oakland. So this Oakland Athletics ball club, guys, they understand what that's all about.
Well, yeah, Jerry said it before we went to the clip of Nomar. Oakland thinks that they can lose, and the Red Sox think that they can win. And I think that's kind of a paraphrase and not a very good one, I might add. Why don't you tell us what you said? Because whatever you said was great.
What is a paraphrase? Anyway, we look at these two ball clubs. You know, the Red Sox all season long have come from behind. They play the game right through. And they never feel like they're going to lose a ball game, and in this case, a series. They're down 0-2 coming back. They could have lost both of these ball games. They get late inning heroics. They go on to win. They know they have their #1 pitcher going on the mound tomorrow, Pedro Martinez. They feel they're going to win a ball game every time he goes out there. It doesn't always happen, but they feel that way. This other ball club now, I can't imagine what's going through Ken Marker's mind and some of these players who have gone through this in the past. 2 games they could have won right here at Fenway Park. They could have put them away. They could be moving on. Didn't happen.
Yeah, the fashion in which they lost definitely adds to it. They're going to have some reporter out there have a curse of something. What would the curse of Reggie Jackson? What would it be? Curse who?
I don't know. We'll think about it while we go to break.
No, the rapper who used to be the bat boy there.
Oh, MC Hammer?
Yeah.
There you go. Curse of MC Hammer for the Oakland Athletics. Is tomorrow the Red Sox try to win the series. The decisive game coming up tomorrow, and we will be with you on WB Mason's Extra Innings, but we're not done today. More coming up next following a 5-4 Red Sox win.
There's something.
You first.
Okay. Honey, I love you, and I want you to be my wife.
I'm in love with your brother, Frank. I'm gonna go.
Frank?
Got something to sell? UncleHenrys.com.
I began losing my hair about a year ago. Is it ever gonna stop?
What causes it to fall out anyway? Let's say I'm ready to do something about my hair loss. What are my options?
Why me?
It's hard to know what to do when you start losing your hair. That's where Bosley comes in. For over 25 years, people have turned to us for answers to their questions about hair loss and hair restoration.
So what is natural hair restoration?
Where does the hair come from? Is it permanent?
Does the hair actually grow?
To find out, just call this toll-free number. We'll send you this free video and comprehensive guidebook that give you the real facts about hair loss and the choices you have for dealing with it. Financing is available. So call now and discover how Bosley has advanced the science of natural hair restoration. How they use your own living hair to fill in the thin spots. You'll also meet people who were once losing their hair and see what they looked like then and now.
But here's the big question. Do you think my barber will remember me?
Learn about all your options. Call now and get the information you need to determine if hair restoration is right for you.
Need a new car? UncleHenrys.com.
Today's show is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office product supplier of the Boston Red Sox.
We love it. We love it. We got Pedro Martinez going. He can pitch in the, Europe. It doesn't matter. We feel great with him going, and there's no better way to go out there.
Kevin. What's the gutsiest performance you've seen by John Burkett?
Burkett was unbelievable. We had all the confidence in the world with him. This guy's a big-time veteran. He knows how to pitch. And I'll tell you what, I mean, just the whole pitching staff and defense, it's all been great.
After game 1, Jason Varitek said we always do things hard way first. How many times has this team had its back to the wall and battled back?
Think about it. That's all the practice that we had during the season. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, you don't want to make a living like that, like I said, but it just proves to you that we can do it. And, when we're down, we're never out. And we were down 0-2 quick in this series before you can blink your eyes. And then all of a sudden, bam, we got tied up, and now we got Pedro Martinez going game 5.
Is this the happiest you've ever been to get on a 5.5-hour flight?
This is the happiest I've ever been getting on a 5.5-hour flight. We're going to get some music in the back of the plane going, and we're going to get ready to roll.
They'll have to roll against this guy, Barry Zito. Jerry, I asked you the question. He can't be as good in Game 5 as he was in Game 2.
I think he can be. Barry Zito's a terrific pitcher. Great curveball. Let's keep in mind now, they're going back to the Coliseum, where they have been one of the best teams in baseball, record-wise, all season long. Those Oakland fans are going to be there supporting him tomorrow night. Critical that the Red Sox get off to a good start.
So what else can the Red Sox do offensively against Zito in light of how well he pitched last time?
Well, I'd like to see a little more hit and run. If a situation comes up where I think if the Red Sox score early, the Oakland team's going to come down more emotionally, maybe even just cash it in. And I think getting some people in motion against Zito would be a good thing.
Pedro Martinez got fired up in Game 1 after he had that little miscue. you want to see him do that from the get-go tomorrow.
I don't think it's going to be a problem, Bob. You know, he's got a lot of things that he can fall back on, things that he remembers from the past, and he knows he's in a very important game, the biggest one of the season for him so far. Pedro's attitude going into the game is not going to be a problem. In a
matter of just about 15 hours, the Oakland Athletics lost 2 games here at Fenway Park. Same thing happened to the Red Sox when this series started. It will all be decided tomorrow, and we will be with you after the ball game here on WB Mason's Extra Innings. For Bob Tewksbury and Jerry Remy, I'm Bob Rogers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Once again, your final score from Fenway. The Red Sox win it 5-4. And this has been an exclusive presentation of NESN, your ticket to Boston Red Sox baseball. Good night, everybody.